Today I am in Puerto Banús. This port on the Costa del Sol is famous for its super yachts, high-end shopping and fancy restaurants. But in a recent Which survey, Puerto Banús ranked dead last as Spain's worst beach destination. Today I'm walking through Puerto Banús to see what it is really like. Does it deserve the reputation, or is it just misunderstood? Or has it lost the charm that made it once so famous? Let's take a little walk around Puerto Banús. So I'm starting down here at the Puerto Banús Marina. It is the 4th of April today. The sun is trying to peek through. It's probably about 18 degrees or so. So you can see why British and Northern European people like to holiday here, because the weather is that much more reliable. Puerto Banús was developed in the 1970s as a luxury marina and shopping area. But back then, things were quite a lot cheaper and that luxury was more accessible. But decades later, a lot of the shops and restaurants seem only accessible to the filthy rich. And there are a lot of other things going on behind the scenes here too. We're going to explore them a little bit more. In the Which survey in question, a lot of reviewers called it faded and tacky and criticised the high-rise hotels and the overdevelopment. But others appreciated the familiarity, describing it as a home from home with British cafes, pubs and a cluster of traditional Spanish restaurants still holding on. Now, I did another video where I went to the very British influenced towns on the Costa del Sol, Benalmádena, Fuengirola and Torremolinos. But while there's nothing wrong with people coming to the Costa del Sol and opening British restaurants, I do see it as a bit of a problem when it causes a complete loss of culture here. I haven't quite assessed whether I think this is the case for Puerto Banús though. Its tourism slogan, as we can see here, is Puerto Banús like no other. So we're going to see if that is the case. I mean, these super yachts are impressive. Like, how much does this cost? That is massive. I mean, for everyday people, probably you and definitely me, this is just otherworldly. Like, the only time I've ever been on a boat on that size is for like a diving trip. It certainly wasn't mine. So I've come down to the edge of the marina here, and here we go. We've got super yacht, super yacht, super yacht. Got this interesting tower here. Have a little look and see what that is. And then got the coast going along here. So later on in this video, I am going to go further along the coast to San Pedro and also further inland to a place called La Campana, and just show you what the areas around Puerto Banús are like. This was the president of Puerto Banús, Alberto Videla Tudores, from 1985 to 2016. It's a very long time. And this was the control tower. This is the control tower, I think. It looks a bit historic, but I'm not sure if it actually is. And we've got Dolce and Gabbana. Now, my partner Rich, who's joined me on my other Spanish videos, he's inside working today. He actually knows Puerto Banús very well. He has come here probably hundreds of times as a child and a young adult, and he was telling me how much it had changed. So I think while it has always been marketed as a luxury high-end destination, there did used to be more local, kind of less so spots, but the whole port area now seems extremely expensive, extremely high-end. You can rent this yacht. Wonder how much that costs. MarbellaBoatCharter.com. Look at this. Only in Puerto Banús, I feel, would you have directions to the designer shops. Dior, this way. Rolex, this way. Dolce & Gabbana, this way. Also, I've come down here a couple of times now, and this has always been very busy. It's still early, which is why it's quite quiet, but apparently this is very expensive, but always really popular because I think it's where some of the celebs go. So cafe tea, €5.50. Gin and tonic, €13.50. I mean, it's pricey, but not ridiculous. Lots of restaurants that open out to the marina here. Dior up here. Yeah, it is a designer store after designer store here. I am not a designer store kind of gal. What I will say is I've been down to Puerto Banús, I think this is my third time coming down here, and I did say last time that while it's definitely not my favourite place in Spain, by far not my favourite place in Spain, I didn't think it was as bad as some of the other towns on the Costa del Sol, such as Fuengirola. I was not a fan of Fuengirola. I find that the tackiness I like less than the over glamorousness, even though, like I say, that doesn't appeal to me at all. However, I think the Which survey was based on a range of factors, including costs, which obviously Puerto Banús is very expensive, and crime and safety, which we are going to talk about a little later on in this video. Definitely does seem like the heavens are going to open at any moment. This trip has been the first time I've ever been to the Costa del Sol, and I remember when I was a young adult and everyone was coming to Marbella, and it was in the sort of the no carbs before Marbs kind of era. I remember it was very popular with Towie, wasn't it? You'd always do a Towie season out here. Not that I have not watched Towie for years, but I did watch it when it first came out. My partner was saying that actually when people say Marbs in that sense, they're actually talking about here. Like here is kind of the port area of Marbella. Here we go, here's something you can do here. Boat trips, €175 for 1 hour, €300 for 2 hours for 11 people. That's a private boat. It's not crazy. I guess if you've got 11 people, €200, that's less than €20 each. I'd probably pay that for a 2-hour private boat trip. I do know there is a coffee shop here. Not cheap coffee, but I think I need one. Cappuccino con leche de avena para llevar, por favor. Gracias. €5 for oat milk cappuccino, which isn't a great price. I have paid like as little as €2.50 for one in other places in Spain. That's good though. That is a good coffee. Even though it is touristy, I did manage to speak just in Spanish and they didn't reply to me in English. So that's a result. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this port was established in the 1970s, and that was when Spain's tourism kind of really started. So if you don't know, Spain was actually under a really bad dictatorship for nearly 40 years. Francisco Franco. He's not that often spoken about. So I'm guessing that Puerto Banús was kind of part of that new tourist revitalisation programme to attract more tourists, and I guess the luxury travellers were the most appealing as they spend the most money. In that way, you could say that it was quite important to the Costa del Sol and Spain's growth after the dictatorship. But obviously we're 55 years later now, so obviously things have changed. I'm at Puerto Banús beach now. And actually, on this Which survey that I'm looking at, Puerto Banús beach wasn't rated too badly. Let me just put my coffee down and I'll get it back up. So I've got the results of this Which survey on my phone here. So the beachfront is one of the few green rated areas in the Which survey, so it's one of the few that is rated as good. But it's still only got 3 stars in the Which survey, which compared to 5 stars for San Sebastian, which came top overall with a score of 88%. San Sebastian got top marks for its food, its atmosphere and its beaches. But in this Which survey, Puerto Banús only got 58%. So the beach, I'm sitting by it now, it's okay. It's not a golden sand beach or anything like that, and it's quite commercialised. You know, it's got all the deck chairs. I'm pretty sure that on the non-deck chair bits you can just take a towel and sit, so it's not like completely privately run, but it is still one of those more commercial feeling beaches. We're going to take a walk along in a minute. I just want to drink my coffee. So Puerto Banús beach is lined with loads of these beach restaurants, and when the sun is out they are nice to sit there, have a cold glass of wine or have a cocktail or something. The beach is fine. It's a town beach. It's never going to look wild and like impossibly scenic. It's never going to be a hidden gem beach. So I guess it's important to not like put unrealistic expectations on it. So we have eaten just at one restaurant on this stretch. I'll show you it in a moment. I did have a look at the menu of this restaurant last time we were here, but they didn't have much in the way of vegetarian food. I love this about Spain as well. This is a classic Spanish addition to a town, is the outdoor gym. So even in fancy Puerto Banús, we've got one of these. I think it's this one that we've been in a few times, Amora Beach. And they did a very good halloumi salad, which I did very much enjoy. The halloumi salad was 17 euros. So it ain't cheap, but you are paying for the view, I guess. But when we first came here, we got one halloumi salad to share between 4 of us, and we got a couple of other starters, so it was really just, we were just calling it a snack really, and then 4 drinks, and the total came to 80 euro for a few snacks and a drink. Just, yeah, it does seem like a lot to me. This bit is a bit more scenic with the palm trees and everything, and then the esplanade runs along here, which is a nice place to go for a jog. Been down for a run here a couple of times as well. What we'll do, I think, is I'll walk along here, and then you can loop round and walk along one of the back street roads, and then I will tell you a bit about some of the other goings on in Puerto Banús. Just walking along the road that runs parallel to the beach now, so this is just, I don't know, 20 metres inland or so, and this does feel very, very different. It is interesting, like you see the port and it is pristine, but I'm literally just back, and I mean it's fine, but there's, you know, like the fence isn't completely done, the roads aren't like completely pristine, like no issue with it at all, but it's just interesting how you've got that really sleek port, and then this just looks like your normal everyday street. This looks like a hazard as well. I'm not even that tall and I could easily bang my head on that. Now I've made it to the Cristamar shopping mall, and this is where it has got a bit sketchy. Let me put you up here and I'll explain. So on Christmas Eve this year, so about 3 or so months ago, a man was shot in the legs when he was pretty much in this spot. It was broad daylight, it was really busy because people were out for Christmas, and 10 days later another man was shot outside the Real Paddle Club Marbella. There is stuff going on here, there is quite a bit of crime, and these aren't isolated cases. So in 2024, the police launched the Marbella Plan, which saw them cracking down on rising gang-linked violence. Beach clubs like Ocean Club, which we're going to go to in a moment, were raided. And then there's also problems with the mafia here. Marbella and Puerto Banús have become the base for some of Europe's most dangerous criminal groups. Just recently, 3 suspected members of the Camorra Naples mafia were arrested here, and one of them was wanted for attempted murder. This is a wider Costa del Sol problem. It's not just Puerto Banús, but 113 gangs are reported to operate in the Malaga area. And some of the other things that have happened in the area include, in 2022, a body was found with holes drilled through its toes. A torture chamber was discovered in a Marbella flat. There was a shooting and stabbing at Opium Beach Club, and a Europol-backed raid on the Drangheta Mafia saw 32 arrested and weapons, speedboats and cocaine seized. So there's the unaffordable side, there's the artificial side, but there's also a criminal side of this part of Spain as well. And like I say, it's not just Puerto Banús, but Puerto Banús does feature quite heavily in some of these stories. And I guess it is all of this that have caused it to be called a seedy dump. I do need to just grab a couple of things that we can't get in the village that we're staying in. So I'm popping into El Corte Inglés. Correct me if I'm wrong, it's a while since I've been into another Corte Inglés, but do they normally have Dolce & Gabbana when you walk in? Here we go. So I've walked back along to Ocean Club Marbella, and I thought this was a good place to talk about Puerto Banús's nightlife. So Puerto Banús is known for its parties, but it's an expensive night out, and many say that it no longer offers any value for money. In contrast, places like Naha scored 4 stars on this Which survey for both affordability and atmosphere. Puerto Banús got 3 stars, which for a town that's known for its nightlife isn't that great. So we're just outside Ocean Club Marbella, which is probably the most famous, I wouldn't say nightlife because it's more of a day thing, but it's the kind of place to hang out, have a drink, enjoy the pool. But Rich has always told me about this place, and he's always told me something really interesting. As he's not here, I'm going to just ring him. Hopefully he picks up and get him to tell you.
Play his footsteps, follow us.
Can you just tell the video what your experience at what is now Ocean Club used to be like?
Yeah, so Ocean Club used to be called the Siesta Club, which is obviously very Spanish. But I think now it's like a kind of luxury, very expensive. I think you pay like thousands of euros just for a bed before you've even paid for drinks and stuff. So I know it's been on, like, I think all the Towie people and minor B-list celebrities kind of go there in the summer and stuff. But before, it was a really expensive place. It used to be just a little local beach club, basically. Like, it had a saltwater swimming pool. You could go straight onto the beach, and you just have like standard deck chairs, sun chairs. I'm not even sure if you had to pay to get in. Maybe you had to pay when you were in there. But we used to go there just you could go and hang out all day. Didn't cost much anyway. And they had like this big canteen where you just get served like cheap plates of. I just remember eating the spaghetti all the time.
Do you remember how much it was?
Quite young. I have no idea. I mean, this was like 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
So I was quite young when we used to go there.
You went there as a kid,
I
didn't
can't
you?
remember. Yeah, I went there as a kid. I can't remember exactly when it changed from Siesta Club to Ocean Club, or if there was anything in between. But yeah, at some point they just kind of, someone must have bought what was a little local place where loads of locals and tourists as well would go and just have a cheap day out, basically, next to the beach with a swimming pool and cheap drinks, cheap food. I do remember hearing when it had become Ocean Club and it became quite sort of famous amongst minor celebrities, that they were charging ridiculous entrance fees and service fees and stuff. So it kind of took away that nice little local aspect that they had down there, which you can't really find anymore, I don't think.
No.
Not on that part of the beach.
Not really, no. Cool, thank you. Interestingly, I saw on Google Maps that it was the Siesta Club was on Google Maps, and that this like little hut here, that says Siesta on it.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I looked at some of the pictures, and it looks like it's just like a venue for a beach party.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's all changed.
Yeah. Maybe I should carry you around with me like this when I travel without you. Yeah, it's this place here. It says La Siesta on it, so I don't know if that's like a homage to the old days.
Tribute to what it used to be.
Yeah, but very different to what you remember, I think. So that's Ocean Club. Not somewhere I've ever been. If you have been, let me know in the comments what it's like. That said, this area is quite nice, especially on a sunny day. Nice boardwalk, and it's good for jogging, and you can cycle here, but pedestrian priority. Bikes are prohibited at some points as well. Adios. I've just come along the coast to San Pedro. Now, I've never actually been here before, but my partner and my partner's family have always said that it feels a lot more local than Puerto Banús. So I thought I'd come and check it out and just see the contrast between here and just along the coastline a bit. So I've just got a boat taxi down to San Pedro de la Cantra beach, and this is what it looks like. The beach looks pretty. I mean, I've not come to the best part of the beach here. I've come right to here. So let's walk along a little bit down here. So you can see lots of beach clubs and stuff up here. I will say immediately this does give me a bit more of a, not necessarily say local, because it obviously is still very touristy, but it does give me a bit more of a laid back, less pretentious kind of vibe. Like this place looks like a nice little colourful beach bar, Kalima, and then you've got sort of a kids play park over there, which obviously makes it feel maybe a bit more family orientated. And this is nice. Look, along this promenade you've got these tables outside and stuff. Still very touristy, but a slightly different vibe. I might walk up this way actually. This is on the coast path here, so you can walk all the way to Marbella through Puerto Banús, 9.3 kilometres, and Estepona is only 16 kilometres away. This is the same pathway as what I was walking on closer to Puerto Banús. And I guess quite similar to the beach end in a way, but still, I don't know, maybe the more of the trees make it feel a bit wilder. And it's got a few more like facilities for everyone, like there's some people playing volleyball over there. Like I said, there's a kids play park. So it feels a bit more suitable for more people rather than just kind of a playground for the rich and famous, which Puerto Banús seems to have turned into. I still wouldn't say this is my favourite beach town in Spain, but it does feel slightly more comfortable and welcoming. And again, I need to stress I'm here A, pre-peak season, and B, not on a sunny day. So start of April, it's not going to be that busy. If it's a sunny day, you know, it could be up to 25 degrees at this time of year, then it is going to be busier. I will say that I probably wouldn't go out for dinner in Puerto Banús, largely because of the high prices, and I feel like a lot of the restaurants there are pretty samey, but I would come and give one of these a try, I think. No, this is genuinely quite nice. So if you find yourself in Puerto Banús and you think, oh, it's too fancy, or perhaps you're with kids and you want a more family-friendly beach, just come down the coast to San Pedro. Now, the other thing about San Pedro, which is always quite interesting in Spanish towns, is that the main bit is set back from the beach. So this is the playa, the beach area, and then San Pedro, the sort of town centre, is about a 10-15 minute walk away. Now, the reason this is interesting is because when Spanish towns have this sort of distance between the beach and the town, often the beach can feel very, very touristy, but the town actually feels quite local. So I'm going to head up there now, just see what the town feels like. Something that I have been really enjoying about this part of Andalucía, you can't really see it so well today because of the clouds, but the mountains are so close by and they can look really beautiful, particularly during sunset. I would actually really like to come back and do a hiking trip or something out here. I do love Andalucía as a region, you know, incredible weather, fascinating culture. All the Moorish culture is incredible. I've been to Sevilla, Granada, Malaga, but some parts of the Costa del Sol just aren't my cup of tea. But I also do enjoy being by the beach, the nice weather, so peaks and troughs, I guess, peaks and troughs. For research purposes, I bought another coffee. This was from a specialty coffee shop called Roasted. Also very nice coffee. They were both nice, but this one was €4 as opposed to €5. So it is cheaper in San Pedro. It's looking like rain. My phone battery is running low and my personal battery is running low. I'm definitely feeling a little bit coldy. I'm just going to drop a pin on Google Maps in San Pedro Centre and just see what it looks like. Yeah, so San Pedro looks quite similar to a lot of Costa del Sol towns. Sorry, I could just walk up the road, but I'm not feeling great. A mix of tourist vibes, but also feels a little bit local, and that's the kind of vibe I'm getting from it now. It doesn't feel as in-your-face touristy as Puerto Banús or a lot of other places like Torremolinos or Benalmádena. But I'm going to grab another boat and take you to even further inland where we're staying, which actually feels very local. Welcome to La Campana. So this is not a touristy village at all. It's about a 50-minute walk from the beach, which is why it's not touristy. But it does have everything you need. So we've got a cafe here, Keki. I've been going to this gym, Polo Start Gimnasio. It may soon be getting more popular because they're building all of these flats along here. And I'll show you the poster for it in a moment, but the flats look like they are going to be nice. but expensive. So we've been staying here for about 10 days, speaking quite a bit of Spanish. There is quite a big community of migrants from Northern Europe, so Swedish, not so many British people actually, a lot of Swedish people, seems to be the place where Swedish people come, but not so many tourists. This is the Oficina de Ventas Albatros. These are the new flats that are being built. They do look really nice. Nice balcony. Yeah, they do look lush, but my partner's mum went in to ask about them just out of curiosity, and they sent her the prices, and they start at like €500,000, which is expensive for this neighbourhood. This, like I say, it's a very local neighbourhood. It's not glam or glitzy, but it is very real, and I don't really know how locals feel about these apartments being built. Let me zoom you in. Residential Albatros, it's called. I don't think many locals will move into them. I think it will be the overspill from Puerto Banús, and I mean, that whole gentrification conversation is another whole kettle of fish, which I can cover in another video. So Rich, as I said, he's been coming to Puerto Banús for years, and he's been staying here for years as well for family reasons. And as he commented earlier, Puerto Banús has changed, but also I think here has changed quite a lot as well. He's noticed a lot of things that have popped up that maybe weren't here last time. While that's not a bad thing in some ways, I mean, I am guilty of seeking out an oat cappuccino everywhere I go. Obviously, new businesses is great, new facilities is great, industries change, industries modernise, so there's no bad thing to have more services, but then there is also gentrification. And I've got no idea of the GDP of here, but a small flat for €500,000, not that many people can afford that, so that is going to push prices up in the village, I think. This is another little local area of La Campana. It's quiet today, but on a warm afternoon you've got lots of people outside, you've got music coming from the houses, and then up here you've got typical Spanish street. It might not be old town Instagrammable worthy like some places in Spain, but it's real. We've got a nice little Nueva Andalucía garden here. So Puerto Banús once was a luxury haven, and while in some ways it very much still is, it has also gained a bit of a reputation for being seedy, over expensive, and even crime-ridden. It's not my cup of tea. I can see how some people would like it, but for me, not really my thing at all. And I can understand how Which voted it to be one of the worst beach towns, although personally, I do prefer it to Fuengirola, Torremolinos. I've not got all the answers for what can improve Spanish beach towns, but it is something that I'm very interested in. The rain is coming in fast now, so I am gonna head home. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you're sticking around, I recommend this video, which is all about the hyper English towns on the Costa del Sol and my very honest thoughts about them. Thanks so much for watching. I need to shelter, but I'll see you next time. Bye.